What is happening, guys? Welcome to the Tuesday after. Apologies for going one day late, but I was just knackered. So here we are. It's been an amazing game week, a weird game week, my best game week, the most fun I've had on FPL all season, I think. And what better way than to just jump right in? I'll let you guys know exactly what we're talking about today. And also I'm going to show you my transfers that I've already made. I've already put those transfers to good use. And I wanted to go into my team and the strategy that I'm going to be implementing over the next 4 game weeks in a little bit more detail, because we do have that blank coming up and I've got a lot of people asking about it and talking about it and overanalyzing and overanalyzing. And yes, you guessed it, over analyzing. So we're going to talk about that. First of all, how is everyone doing? What is going on? Seeing some familiar faces. Some people haven't seen it in a while. How are you guys doing? Jimmy, Tom, Liam, It's Raw, Josh, Daffs, with the mushroom hat. Always. Liam, 70 big juicy points this week. Nice one, man. You are 1, 2, 3, 4 good game weeks in a row. Well done. You must be in the top 1 million for sure. Jack, a good win. How's it going, man? How are you doing? Oh my goodness. It's nice to see you. What a week you've had. What a week you've had. If you guys weren't aware, there was a little alphabet thing going on that Jack was very kind to let us all into, and I was posting all weekend, and it was amazing, and I'm sure there's going to be an article coming out soon. Did you guys catch it? It was like all the best players that their last name started with A versus B, C versus D, and all the way through. I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but it was actually so much fun to be a part of. So thank you so much, Jack, for putting that together. It was absolutely amazing. So we'll go. I could show the winners. No, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. Articles coming out in the weekend. Perfect. Well, we'll go see when the article comes out. I'll show it. I'll show it next week or something. We'll have to do something with it because it was too good. It was way too good. All right. So like I said, we're gonna go over my my sleep in strategy. I'm gonna tell you the story of this weekend. My next moves, the transfers that I've done, strategy that I'm going to be implementing. Then we're going to go into the fixture swings, and the fixture swings are important because there's actually a lot of them, like I put on the screen: Sheffield United, Crystal Palace. I'm going to have to read it. Southampton, Chelsea, and Liverpool. Liverpool kind of already started, but yeah, there's a lot of good assets that we can go into, that we can take a quick look at. First things first, I haven't been able to find info on Mousset or however the fuck you want to pronounce his name. So if someone has info on that before I get right into the differentials that I would like to go into for the next 4 game weeks, I kind of need to know if he's going to be okay. Because if he is, he's a great option. We'll finish off with the FPL FAQs. Our own streaming friend. Well, he doesn't stream, but he's in the stream a lot. Named this. Are you here? I'm not going to shout out your name if you ain't here. He's not, is he? He's not here. I'm not going to say it, but I've decided to take... I asked everyone what I should call this section, the FPL FAQs, and Mousset out for 6 months, broken leg. Fuck off, is he? Is he really? He is a great option, lads. Bring him in. He seemed confident being fit. Yeah. So yeah, FPL FAQs is here to stay. I'm going to be doing that every week, and it's going to be awesome. And then finally, Magnus Carlsen wildcard. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with him. He's absolutely amazing. Amazing FPL player. Been following for a while. Talk about him often on the stream, and he wildcarded. And FPL Shiny asked me to take a quick look at his wildcard and give my opinion. So I'm going to do that. And Shiny was awesome enough to send me his team, Magnus's, that is. So let's just get right into it. Where do I start? Okay, so all week last week on the stream, and when Andy was here, By the way, I hope you guys all seen Andy and my FPL and chill. It was an amazing episode. It's on YouTube and all that stuff. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It was fucking so much fun. And if you're here because of that stream, welcome to the big fat sexy club, my man, or my woman. It was really, really good, and I'm really excited that there were so many people here. I think we had a stream high of like 102 viewers at one point, which is mental. So thank you very much if you stuck around for a whole 8 days or whatever since it's been. My last week was pretty rubbish. I had 2 free transfers. I have had good game weeks, but I haven't really done that much for my team. I was really worried about it, and it came to Friday after that FPL and Chill episode, and I hadn't done anything with my team. So I decided to just leave it. I was going out on the Friday. I was actually going to go see Tim Minchin, who is an Australian comedian, and I was like, I'll set an alarm, I'll go to sleep, I'll wake up early, and I'll pour over all the data, and then I'll make my transfers, and we'll see how that plays out. And I said on the stream that I was going to do Firmino to Mousse, and I was going to do David Silva to Mane, and just swap those both out. I had enough money for it, and that was it. That's all we did. But I got drunk on Friday, and unfortunately it meant that I slept in. I slept through my alarm, and I woke up at 11:45, and I couldn't remember if Drunk Dave had made any transfers. I couldn't remember if I changed my captaincy, and I tweeted it out saying I'm a fucking bell end, and everyone, it's happening, Rubber Ducky, it's happening, calm. I just totally fucked it, and this is the team that I can't believe this is what's happened. I scored without making a single transfer, without actually even doing anything, 64 points this week. 64 points with a game week rank of 1 million and a green arrow of about 380,000. Oh, this is not only captaincy really, really good. I was actually going to be captaining Sterling. So I actually would be 5 points less. I would have an injury to worry about in Mousse. The only bad point was that David Silva to Mousse would have been good. But the best part of it of everything is that we broke the fucking curse. Yes, we broke it. I tweeted it. I said I was wanting to take him out. I finally had enough. I told the podcast. I told the stream. I told fucking Andy while he was rating my team. I said, he's out. Bobby must have heard me because he fucking scored finally. So now we've got someone who we can absolutely just keep in our teams for the rest of the season because he's got to bang them in from now on. Right? Firmino's watching the stream. Exactly, Raw. Exactly. So yeah, the team is set up now. I've got 2 free transfers, and I've actually already used both of them, and I'll show you that team in a second. But when you look at this team, hey Bobby, how's it going? When you look at this team, there's not too much. You know that Sterling can come out, David Silva can come out. Firmino, if I wanted to get rid of him, is absolutely fine, but he's coming into good fixtures now, and a lot of people are now going to be thinking about bringing him in, so he's not that big of an issue. I've got the Schmeichel and Soyuncu double up, so that's a sword in itself, or at least enough of a differential with 2 of those. Alexander-Arnold's not going anywhere, Lundstrom's not going anywhere. So the team's actually pretty fine. A lot of people are asking about Mount. A lot of people are asking about Sterling now that Jesus is going to be coming into the team for a bit because Aguero's out. So there's actually a few things that we could be doing with looking into, really. But despite everything, I want to get rid of Sterling because he's just Didn't you lose your free transfer because you didn't use them both? Correct. I had 2 free transfers and I didn't use them. So this week I only have 2 free transfers. I don't get a third one, right? It dies. I just don't get given one because I've already got the maximum. So I've got 2 free transfers to use for this week. I can't get rid of Firmino now. I can't get rid of Firmino. First of all, Musset might not play next week, so that's a bit of an issue, right? And second of all, how can I get rid of Firmino now that he's scored and has good fixtures? And I figure if I want to bring Mane in for Sterling, say, which is something I maybe should have done a while ago for a hit. That means that Mane's going to be the shield at that point, and Firmino will then become the differential that he's supposed to be. So he's no longer kind of keeping up with Mane, or at least me wanting him to keep up with him. He's going to now be a differential. So it's really David Silva and Sterling that I want out. I can't get rid of Mount yet because he's not a fire and he's got good fixtures and it's a pretty good swing and he's just been rested. But we can talk about whether the rest is an issue or not. Does Aguero's injury help Sterling? And Sterling was terrible tonight. Yeah, so we'll talk about that in the FAQs. It's not going to be a super long stream. It's only going to be for about an hour, so we can go through that in more detail. But my quick answer is no. Aguero's injury doesn't help Sterling. But we'll go into that. I'll show you my transfers just now. Like I said, Sterling and David Silva are my biggest issues. Sterling has I wanted to keep him, I really did, and I wanted to give him more chance, but it's just watching him is just heartbreaking. It's just, you've seen him tonight. Rubber Ducky confirms it there as well. Well, not like Rubber Ducky is like the ultimate Sterling watcher. He's confirmed it in the chat. I didn't mean it like that. I just mean like a lot of people have seen him drop in form. His stats are still good, but City are drawing at home. They're fucking they're not playing very well. They've been on a downward spiral and their best striker just died. There's a lot of things happening. I was really going to give him a chance, but I'm taking him out. Rubber Ducky stock Sterling. Well, this is the team now. And I've taken Sterling out and I've taken David Silva out, and I now have Mane and Pulisic. I didn't really want to do the transfers this early and I wouldn't recommend it. But Pulisic was going up, and I wouldn't have had enough money to do it if they both went up. And I just thought, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to get it over with, because if I'm 0.1 million out of this transfer by Friday, I'm going to be fucking so annoyed. So I've done that. Now, Pulisic is obviously a bit of a worry because of rotation and stuff like that. But, you know, this team is template enough that won't be such an issue. Column's off to work in the car, still listening. When to jump on Spurs, or do we wait for the okay from James in Planet FPL? Yeah, no, James was on point, right? He said it's way too early. We don't know who's going to be coming and going, who's going to be in the team, who's going to be starting 11, who's going to be a fringe player. We don't know who's going to be taking up the defensive aspects of you know, that wing, that position that Mourinho loves to play as more of a kind of defensive pivot. It seems to be it's going to be the left side, or sorry, whatever side that Aurier doesn't play, because Aurier is bombing it forward all the time, right? He's bombing it forward, but they're going to score goals. They've scored 7 goals in 2 games for Mourinho. I said it on the pod, but it doesn't come out till tomorrow, so I can say it now because you guys haven't heard it. And if you watched Match of the Day, they said it similar. Son and his friends were set up just in the exact same way that anyone would set them up, except for Pochettino, it seems. Mourinho really simplified. He really simplified the whole squad and where they should be playing. He played 6 defensive players, he played 4 attacking players, he gave Aurier the pivot role, and he was bombing forward like I just said. Ali was the person, kind of like Maddison has been for Leicester. Ali was coming back and forth and picking up the ball and going forward and doing his cheeky flicks and just being a menace and annoying and finding those holes. Mourinho basically was like, you guys defend and you guys just do your thing. and they scored 3 goals. Now, obviously, you guys defend doesn't really work out when you have the players that Spurs have, and we all know that their defense is leaky as fuck. However, that's probably Mourinho's best asset, is he's so good at defensive management. So we could probably expect in the long term for their defense to get better, but in the short term, it's Kane and it's Son and maybe Ali if you want to have a go, because now's the time for punts. Like if you've got a space and it's a punt space in your team, then just do it. It's not going to be a huge issue. Ali's not that far away from Son if you want to go to him, but those 3 are going to be great. Lucas Moura, I don't know how much faith I would have in him after that horrible miss. He was onside. He was get put through. Son just made a bombing run. It was a classic counter-attack, and he fucking smashes it. Like, I know we always say I wouldn't have missed that, but I don't feel like I would have missed it. It was so bad. Rubber Ducky, it is not a Jack and Coke. It is an Aldi Bourbon and Coke. Now, I was making fun of this on the stream a couple of weeks ago for it just being a shit bourbon that I picked up, and then someone on the stream linked something that said that it was a winning bourbon, an award-winning bourbon. So there you go. Don't ruin whiskey, neat or nothing, unless it's JD, then yes, anything helps. I'm not, I mean, we could talk about drinking all the time, this whole stream actually, but no, it's Coke on a weekday, and it's not whiskey, it's bourbon, so it's fine, it's sweet already. Zaha punt time, yes, exactly. So that's another good point. If you can't afford Son and you can't afford Ali, or you give Ali a couple of weeks and see how he goes, you can jump down to people who are players that are actually going to be coming into some good form, and you're not 100% sure about. So like Zaha is a great example. Scores against Liverpool, had better attacking stats than Son, who was against West Ham. Zaha was playing really well. He had the goal involvement, the passes received in the final third, passes in the final third, touches in the final third, touches in the box. They were all better than Son, and he was playing against Liverpool. That's really, really good, and he got his goal. He now has the best fixtures, Zaha does, between now and game week 19. I think it's game week 20 where they play City. So that, yeah, there's a lot of good to be seen in Zaha. 1 goal in how many games? 100%. I feel you. He's not been at his best, but if you look at those games, and we can actually look at them now, because I might as well just do it. And we've totally fucked off my team, by the way. Like we just move on with the questions, guys. Which I kind of like. I kind of like that better. What do I want to do? I want to go into transfers. Right, let's go into, first of all, we'll just go straight into the fixture swings. Okay, so this is the next 6 game weeks. We now have Sheffield United at the tip top of our fixture tracker. So they are now worth, remember, we're always talking about doubling up with Sheffield United defenders, maybe jumping in Mousset, which I wanted to do last week, like I said, and it never worked out. He's a wee bit injured. Hopefully he can be back, because he's a great striker with great potential, and he's been getting fit and just kind of fed into the team. One game after the next, he's got more minutes, and he finally plays enough minutes that we can consider him, and he's been performing. So there's 3 goals and 3 assists in 5 games, I think, and one of the games that he blanked in was the one where Lundstrom wasn't offside, but it was deemed it, and he actually scored that goal. So Mousset is a really, really good option, especially with these fixtures coming up. Liam's off to bed. Have a good one, man. Appreciate you coming out. Watch the rest of the stream on YouTube. Probably message you on Twitter this week about your team. Liam, I have no doubt you're going to message me about your team. But take care, buddy. Thanks very much for joining us. Cheers, man. So yeah, Sheffield United. We all have Lundstrom, right? That's fine. It's now time to go for their second defender. So you've got Connolly, I believe, or O'Connell his name is, sorry. Their keeper is also a decent option if you want to jump off Pope. Now we can obviously see, if we go down here, that Pope's got one kind of decent game in him left. If you kind of, obviously he's got a whole season, he's a season keeper if you really want to do that. But if you're willing to hop off, or you've been thinking about making that transfer for a while or whatever, yeah, I think you can't do wrong with Sheffield United's goalkeeper. Second fixture swing is Crystal Palace. Now, like I just alluded to there, if I even move this game week show 10 game weeks, Crystal Palace is still at the top, and that's even including a Man City in game week 23, sorry. So if I take that away, that 70 turns into a 67.3 out of 100 for the difficulties of fixtures in the next 9 matches. So that's an amazing run. So with Crystal Palace, you've got Cahill at 4.5. You've got there's Everton fixtures. Let's have a look at them. Leicester, Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester United, Arsenal, which by the way has went down, which is kind of funny. Burnley, fine. Newcastle, fine, and then Man City again. If you've doubled up on them, Richarlison and Dean, anyone, not the best at all. Crystal Palace have Cahill, they have Van Aanholt, they have Zaha. Those are really the only people who are the only players I would be going to get out of them. But it's really tempting to at least get one of them. And I'm actually thinking about, if we look back at my team, is actually doing this. Is getting Cahill in. And then maybe changing Mount to Willian. Just for that extra kind of differential and the fact that Willian's been a wee bit more attacking. But that's an option that we can talk about later. But I really do like Cahill. I honestly don't know how to pronounce anyone's name. And I'm not going to get away from that Cahill thing, am I? Oh, fucking love streaming. I get to drink all the time. It's great. So yeah, it's hard to deny that even having him as your first bench at 4.5 million is a bad idea. It is a really, really decent player just to sit there. Even if their defense is not the greatest, he's perfect for the bench. He's a perfect bench player. You could go up to Van Aanholt because we all know he's got great attacking stats. He's a classic FPL attacking defender. So if you have a bit of money and you want to kind of differentiate a little bit, but you also kind of want attacking output, then yeah, definitely get him. I don't know what I would need to do to bring him in. Van Aanholt, how much would I need? Let's find out. I would need to bring Mount down to like McGinn or Grealish or something. Or bring Firmino down to Jimenez maybe. And I could still do the Mount thing. Ooh, look at that. See, now I'm just going to turn this into a tinker session. Oh, I could well do it. How much is Son? Nah, nowhere near. Oh, well. If I'm going to put this on, you guys are going to freak out. I think this is going to work. Oh, I could do it. I'm not doing that. That's mental. That's too much. A 3.9. No, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. Anyway, yeah, so not only do Crystal Palace have great fixtures, and Zaha had really decent stats for that Liverpool game, Chelsea, as you can see, in the next 10, or 9 rather, I know that they have a few difficult fixtures. If you look at this, their little, their thing, you're thinking, oh, there's a 4, there's a 4, there's a 3. I'm not, but don't look at this. Never look at this. This is fucking gash. It's good to see what their next fixtures are, but the FDR it just doesn't work. They never do 5. You've never seen a team with 5. You've never seen a team with 1. So therefore it's just 2, 3, or 4. So are they easy, medium, or hard? That's it. That's all we got. So they've put Everton at medium. They've put Tottenham at hard. Like, Tottenham's not a hard game for Pulisic. It's a hard game for fucking Kepa. Do you know what I mean? So don't use that. It's shite. Use this. Or the fixture tracker on Fantasy Football Scout. Or one of them. Daffs. How's it going, man? Thanks for coming back. Where's my bloody mushroom? So anyway, Chelsea have great fixtures. So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to actually jump on them and get 3 attacking assets. So Mount is obviously going down in price because he was rested, or not rested rather. He was kind of saved in favor of a really kind of defensive-minded bully 3, including Kante, and Kante did really, really well. So the tactic almost worked off. So yeah, I'm happy to keep Mount because I think the game weeks that are coming up don't require the same level of defensive mindedness as a Manchester City game does. So therefore, Mount should be fine for these two at least. We could maybe hold and see if he keeps kind of returning like he was, or if he's kind of settling down now and he's not really doing as much. Because actually, his output kind of went down. Mount's output went down. Let me refresh this. When Pulisic started playing. So Pulisic started playing game week 8. He got an assist. Then a little, and that was only with 10 minutes played. The next one's 26. Didn't get anything. That's okay. And then played 90, gets a hat trick, then a goal, and then he blanked against Man City. So we'll look at that. That's absolutely golden. That's perfect. That's exactly what you want. From game week 8 to game week 13 for a 7.4, cheaper than Richarlison. You know what I mean? And then we look at Mount, game week 8. Game week 8, he got a goal. Game week 7, he got an assist. Game week 5, he got a goal. Game week 3, he got a goal. So all these games, before Pulisic was put back on, because I know he played a couple of games at the start, but since Pulisic played 90 minutes, the only thing that Mount has done is 1 assist. So what I'm thinking is that Mount is having a positive effect on the team overall, but he's kind of regressing as an FPL option a little bit. It might just be because of the specific fixtures. It might be because, Pulisic is playing out with the tactics that Lampard's trying to implement, but Lampard's like, if you're going to score a hat-trick, fucking go for it. It doesn't matter to me. But regardless, Pulisic is making Mount a little bit less attacking. Mount's still an attacking asset. He's still better than most at that price, so he's not a huge deal. But Pulisic is a better option if he's going to be playing. And with his form, it's hard to see. He's unbenchable. He's unbenchable. Him and Willian. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. Let's go into Willian's stats a little bit. So he has 2 goals and 3 assists. Now you're thinking that might not be a lot because he's been 13 game weeks, so 5 and 13. However, he didn't really play in the first 4. So he played a total of 55 minutes from game week 1 to 4. So if we take those out of it, which I know he still played minutes, okay, but let's just take them out just for ease of this argument. Wolves away, didn't get anything. Liverpool at home, didn't get anything. That's fine. Like, Wolves isn't the easiest game. I know they thrashed them, but Willian didn't really, it was his first game back, his first game as part of the old 90 minutes after being unfit and just kind of worked his way into the team. His first game back, didn't do much. Second game, Liverpool at home, didn't do much again. That's fine. Brighton, he scored a goal. Southampton, he got an assist. Newcastle, parked the bus. Still okay. Burnley, got a goal and assist. Watford away, he should have done something there. I'm going to say that blank's disappointing. But then Crystal Palace, he got an assist. And then Man City blanked, which is fine. So I would say that the only disappointing one there is Watford and maybe Newcastle. Everything else he's performed in exactly how I'd want him to, as a 7 million asset. Daft, I think everyone is tired. We're a little bit later tonight. Don't you worry about it, though. Don't you worry about it. So yeah, I think that Willian, his stats are the reason why he's not really jumping out. Or his overall contribution to the game from game week 1 onwards. However, I think people are sleeping on him a little bit. And I would love to do Mount to Willian and then Cresswell down to Cahill. Definitely. So I would love to make this team happen. And I thought I wasn't going to be able to because Mount actually went down in price. But then I found out that I bought him at 6.5. So the 6.8 to 6.7 didn't even matter. Woo! So that's good. So yeah, Chelsea is another big swing. because after that Man City game, they are second for fixtures in the next 9 games. If we add one on, I think they've got a pretty good game week 10, or from here, the 10th fixture is pretty good as well, Newcastle away. So yeah, long term, pretty good. The next one is Southampton. Now, Southampton's a weird one because I'm pretty sure they are last in the league. or second last. Let's just double check. Second last. So I'm just about to tell you to bring in a Southampton player, but it's only one, and it's Ings. And I kind of like Ings because A, he's cheap enough, but he's also got the pedigree and the experience, and we've already seen what he can do. He's kept fit for a while now, so it's not a huge issue with his fitness, and he's got brilliant fixtures. Watford, that's a big game because they're below them. So I feel like Watford are going to go for it, and Ings kind of needs to jump in and perform there. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on him, and I feel like Southampton can score. Norwich played well against Everton, but Everton are their own stack of mess. I still feel like Norwich have the worst defence in the league. Then we go to Newcastle, who played woefully on the weekend, or on Monday there against Aston Villa. Then we go to West Ham. The only hard game in the next 5 is that Aston Villa away. That's right at the end there. Oh, you guys can't see it. Right there. And then obviously they play Chelsea. But for those 5 game weeks, Southampton are actually banging. I wouldn't mind them at all. They're actually top of the fixture tracker for the next 5 game weeks. That is a huge swing, and I definitely think that it's something to consider. Musette, Ayew, and Ings in the same bracket, and then Lucas David says Ayew is a tap-in merchant. He nearly tapped one in against Liverpool. Let's have a look at him. That's actually a good idea, because I was considering him or Musette last week, and I landed on Musette but forgot to make the transfer. So yeah, he's got 4 goals and nothing, but he didn't play here. He gets subbed off often, but he still gets started, so he's actually a wee bit safer than a lot of fringe players. But yeah, he's had hard fixtures. Like, look at that: Man City, Arsenal, Leicester, Chelsea, Liverpool. So let's say we would never play him in any of those. He's got 3 goals in 8 games. That's all right. That's not bad. And he played Tottenham and Manchester United and Everton in 3. Or he didn't even play in one of them. So that's 7 games. 3 goals in 7 games that you'd want him to score in. That's not bad. That's not bad. I don't mind that. It's kind of making me rethink it. No, we're keeping Firmino. Fuck that. No, we're keeping him. We're keeping him. So yeah, I think that he's a decent option. Obviously not as good as Zaha, and you'd want Zaha more than him. But yeah, I can't see you going wrong. Robert Ducky, just can't trust Palace yet. And if you're not tripling up on Chelsea, you are crazy. Don't you worry, sir. Tripled up, I have. Pulisic, Mount, and Abraham. I can understand benching Tomori at times. I've tripled up on Chelsea and Leicester, not sure, might bench Tomori. Yeah, no, I actually was thinking about going Tomori for a while and decided against it because I might want to get 3 Chelsea attackers if Chelsea can keep up the old attack, which they have done. And they've scored a shit ton of goals. And I wanted to show you guys this. If you go to Understat, which is just an easy way to look at all the goals and what's happening. Tomori, Lundstram, Soyuncu, or Jimenez. All 3 of them versus Jimenez. I would take all 3 of them. Are you asking who to bench, Daffs? They've had hard fixtures. We're banging before that. Yeah, Josh, I think you're absolutely right. Who to bring in for Nick Pope after this game week? Probably Schmeichel. It's hard to not say Schmeichel. But for that same price, Gazinga, or however you pronounce his name's decent. I like Henderson. Yeah, you've got a few options there. But yeah, any one of these guys actually. Any goalkeeper from Southampton, Sheffield United, maybe not Southampton, fuck that. But Sheffield United, Crystal Palace, maybe even Wolves if you want to jump in there. They've got good fixtures. It's hard really. You don't really want a keeper just because of the fixtures. You kind of want to make sure he's doing a lot of the saving. And although Pope's kind of been in and around it, a wee bit off, a wee bit on, he's been playing well. The only in-form keeper I would say is Pope and David De Gea. And I don't want to tell you to get David De Gea pretty much ever. Unless something drastically changes. So yeah, not 100% sure. Schmeichel or Henderson? Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. I have Mount and looking at transferring out Tomori and Traore for Pulisic and a very cheap defender. Feels risky. I mean, Tomori is not a risk. I don't think Chelsea... I mean, Chelsea have good fixtures, though. I feel like West Ham are going to score against them. Can you do me a quick rate my team? Want to know who to bench and what everyone thinks. We might be able to throw it up later if you want to send me it. Or maybe I could just do it after the stream. We'll see. But yeah, no, Henderson. I like it. I've changed it since you last saw it. Depends on your budget. Schmeichel or Henderson. Yeah, it totally does if you want to spend money. Pritch 101. Thank you very much for follow, buddy. Welcome to Big Fat Sexy fucking Club, my man. Oh yeah, shit, there's a stream thing. Messi to the near post. Stream League? Is that what I fucking called it? Nope. What did I call it? League? I forget what I called it. It's this guy. It's this guy right here. Hold on. You gotta join the league. If any of you guys haven't yet, FPL Dave's Sexy Stream League. Commands. I know, I haven't even written it down. What if I scroll down? Is it down there? Oh no, I've totally forgotten what I've called it. Right, stop the stream. Let's find out. I should just call it code, shouldn't I? I think that's a good idea. Whatever it is now, I'm going to change it to code. Oh, it's league code. Ew. Right. It's now code, lads. Bam. I did start it late. So when does it go from? Game week 11. Started when I started playing well. There we go. There we go. So yeah, if you haven't joined, use that code to join. I haven't looked at it in a while though. But look at that. Raw. It's Raw. Second place. Well done. We've got Sean Harden on third. Greg Fleming, first place. 243 points in 3 game weeks. That's mental. David Thomas. Cathal Duggan. We've got a few Gudgeons. Colm's there. On 12th. I don't know where I am. Oof, 19th in my own league. In my own stream league. Out of 26 people. Nae bad. Nae bad. Click on my team and I'll tell you my transfers. Right, do we want to do... I'll ask the stream. Stream, do we want to do Daft's team? Do we want to do it? Do we want to do a rate my team? He wants us to see it. Alright. Robert Ducky said go on, so I'm just going to do it. Alright, Daft, this is your team, innit? Oh, wow. So Cantwell on the bench, missed out on those points. Son and Pulisic in for Kevin De Bruyne and Dan James. What, you... No. Daft. No. Why would you get rid of your only City player? I mean, yeah, they've lost it a little bit, but fucking... They're City. You can't get rid of everyone. That'd be mental. I'm just looking at your team again. No, don't. What the f... I mean, to be fair, though, you are doing better than me. So, I don't know. You done it anyway. Yes. Oh. Oh, well. So you've got Daniel James and now Pulisic and De Bruyne's Son. And you have absolutely zero City. You know what? It could work. It's template enough that it's not going to really hurt you. The return of Cantwell from third sub for that Arsenal fixture. Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's probably not going to happen anymore, by the way, guys. He was doing well at the start, and they were all doing well, but he's kind of only done one thing in the last 10 game weeks or something. 8 game weeks. You're getting rid of KDB too. Oh, now all the cool kids are getting rid of KDB. Is it because you want to keep Sterling? Is that the reason? Should we jump into that? I've talked about the fixture swings, right? Southampton, Sheffield United, Crystal Palace, Liverpool also, but we all kind of know about Liverpool, and Chelsea. So yeah, let's just do the. You were never gonna start him anyway. You weren't gonna start Kevin De Bruyne. What? What do you mean you weren't gonna start him? Who should I bench for this week? Okay, cool. Who should you bench? See, that's the problem. So that's why I didn't get Son in. If I was gonna go for Son, so I was thinking about doing this, lads. Let me show you guys. Let me show you real quick, and I'll show you the reason why I didn't do it. So we'll come back to you, Daphs. Don't you worry about it. So who did I have before this? I had David Silva and I had Sterling. All right, so this was my team, and I was thinking I could go Sterling to Son, and I could go Cresswell to Robertson. Now, I was thinking, yes, that actually it looks like a decent team. It looks like something that I could really pull off. I like all those players. I love having the double up in Liverpool defence, because although it's been really shit, I feel like it's going to turn a corner just at the time when everyone's getting rid of them. So I think, or at least losing faith, and I really like that because it's been working out. And Robertson and Alexander-Arnold's kind of been pulling their weight regardless of fixtures and regardless of defensive clean sheets, right? So I wanted to jump on them. And then Son, obviously, with the new bounce and everything, that would have been good. And he's still a good asset, and he's got good fixtures. Don't really have to talk about it, right? The reason why I didn't do this is because who am I benching out of that, right? So I'm have to play Son and De Bruyne, and David Silva can go down to Pulisic or whatever, right? So we could just do that for now. So do that, right? Who do I bench? Son, De Bruyne, Pulisic, Mount. You're not going to bench them. Vardy, Firmino, Abraham. You're not going to bench any of them. So that means you have to play 3 defenders, which means I have to pick between Soy and Lundstrom every single week on who I want to bench. You would bench Mount there only because you have Pulisic, but like, so that could be anyone. That could be anyone. That could be Maddison or whoever the fuck, right? A lot of people have Maddison in, so let's just put him in, right? So if that was your team, you have to pick between these two to bench. You've got only one of them because you don't want to bench any of your big players. It wouldn't make sense to put money in them. So that's ultimately why I didn't go for Son and I went for Mane instead with Sterling, because I have too much money that way. I have too much money like all over the place, and I'm not able to use all that money effectively. So what you've done now is you've kind of done the similar thing, right? You've got Son in there, you've got Pulisic, which is fine, but it means you're going to have to bench either your Chelsea defender, Lundstrom, or Soy, because you're obviously going to be benching Cantwell. And when I say obvious, it's obvious because if you don't bench him, you'll have to bench Jimenez, Abraham, or Vardy, and you can't bench any of them. So it's going to have to be Cantwell and one of Tomori, Soy, or Lundstrom. I wouldn't bench Soy because their form is amazing. I wouldn't bench Lundstrom because their form is amazing and they finally have an okay fixture coming up. Like, he doesn't need it, but still. So yeah, Tomori, West Ham, Antonio getting a cheeky goal. You could see it happening. But you're going to be raging if Tomori gets 9 points. A lot of people have benched Tomori for his points. Some people are on the opinion that points on the bench is good because it indicates you have a good bench. Other people find it wasteful. I'm kind of more on the wasteful side. I don't want to be benching players that are playing well enough to score fucking 9 points in a game, right? Benches are for players to come in and give you 2 points if your player somehow is not playing. And that's really it. I don't really want to fuck about too much. Musset, a really, really good bench option as your kind of first bencher, or maybe even good enough to play. So again, for my team, I wanted to do this I wanted to put Muse in there. And is he going to be on there? Am I going to have to look at him? God damn it. So I wanted to do this last week, and I didn't do it. And then Muse, I would have benched, actually, I think, which is the funny part. If I had done it, I would have benched him, because I would have had a 4-4-2, and I would have played Rico, Soy, Alexander-Arnold, and Lundstrom. I don't know if I would have played him 100%. I might have, and benched Rico. But Rico had a decent fixture last week. Wolves at home. So I don't know who I would have benched between there. But I would have had to have decided. And that's the whole point. I would have had to decide. I would have to pick. And in the end, I don't want to pick when good players, when everyone has good players. I want to know, or good games. I want to know exactly who I'm benching all the time. So right now with my team that I have right now, I know every single week that I'm benching Rico. He's going to be first on the bench. And I'm benching whoever fucking Cresswell turns into. It could be Cahill, or I could swap them, but I'm never benching Soy because he's got such good form and fixtures. Never benching Lundstrom for the exact same reason. Like, I don't have to decide here. Oh, that's not my team just now. Hold on. Ugh. My team. So, yeah. And I never have to worry about it. Is my team yes or no? Right, lads? I want a yes, a yay, or a nay for Daft's team. What do we think? What do we think, guys? Give it to him straight. Oblivious Gaming, how's it going, man? Appreciate you coming here. Sorry, I was going on a little rant. I missed out on the chat. Let me read it while you guys talk. Have you decided for your next week team? Yes, I've made 2 transfers already. Zero, how's it going, man? I just realized you're here. Thoughts on Salah if his ankle holds up tomorrow? I like Salah. I think that he's going to go back to his game-winning self. He's got the fixtures. He's been rested for 3 weeks. Lucas Davis says, yeah, if Cantwell plays. Can you say yay to no Man City? I don't think you can. Don't think you can. The team is yay. So this team is yay, which is great. But he's actually taken out De Bruyne. And he's taken out James. And he's moved in Pulisic here and Son here. I like it, but I don't like it at the same time. Like, it's a uber differential team, but at the same time, oh, it's difficult. It's difficult. It's difficult. Right. Let's move on to the FPL FAQ. So hit me with all your questions. I know some people have been doing it, and I'm kind of reading them just now. So just hit me with all your questions. What do we want to do? What do we want to do? Thoughts on Sterling, Mount, and Connolly to Son, Pulisic, and Muse. Zero, my team is on the screen just now. That's been me through the season, top 45k. Yeah, Dash, you're doing really well. You might as well do it. You're at the forefront, my man. We'll laugh at you now, but we'll ask you for advice later. That's how it works. Thoughts on Sterling, Mount, and Connolly to Son, Pulisic, and Muse for a -4. Can you do Sterling and Connolly to Son and Muse just now, and then do Mount to Pulisic next week? I don't want to take a hit. I don't want to take a hit for those changes. On my team just now, as you can see it on the screen, I asked Twitter and I got a lot of feedback on doing Mount and Cresswell to Cahill and Willian. And I really like the look of this team, and I have exact money to do it. I really, really like this, and I want to do it so badly, but it's a -8. So I'm thinking about just leaving it just now and doing it next week, and just see how Mount does. Because honestly, between 6 and 7 million, Mount has the best fixtures of any, other than maybe Zaha, but I would trust Mount over Zaha. So Mount's still a really good option. And they were fucking laughing at me on the pod because someone asked that, between 6 and 7 million, who's your favorite midfielder for now? And after us talking about Mount for ages, saying that he, it's an issue, and he got benched in a big game. Do you want your player being benched in big games? And he hasn't been playing well, and Pulisic is kind of pulling him into defense while Pulisic is propelling himself into the fucking goal. All that said and done, I still like Mount, so I don't think you should take a hit to get him out. Unless it's, I was gonna say unless, and then I couldn't think of a good reason. Like, if you're sure, fuck it, just do it. Just do it. I want to do it. I wouldn't do it for -8, but I'm gonna do it next week for -4. So I can't sit in here and tell you not to do it. I think Mount has a good 1 game left in him, though. I think if he scores and you take him out and Pulisic doesn't score, you're gonna be upset. I don't think I would want to. I would want just one midfielder and miss out on the other. I kind of like the fact that I've got Pulisic and Mount. So if you can make that happen, that would be awesome. But I know that's difficult. Zero says, best 7k max striker. Ings. Ayew maybe. Mousse if he's fit. And those are it. That's it. That's all I can think of. I have a midfield of Mane, Kevin De Bruyne, Traore, Mount, and a forward line of Jimmy, Tammy, and Vardy. Do I take out Tomori and Traore for Pulisic and a 4.4 defender? What would your Robert Ducky? What would your bench situation be? You also have Madison, so that means you'd be playing Mane, Kevin De Bruyne, Mount, Maddie, and Pulisic, and you'd be playing Jimmy, Tammy, and Vardy. You can't do it. You would need to be. You would need to bench one of your midfielders. So you would need to pick of all your midfielders. You would need to pick which one to bench every single week. Who do you bench every week between Mane, Kevin De Bruyne, Madison, Mount, and Pulisic? You'd end up benching Mount every week, right? So you might as well just do Mount out. If you're gonna bench him every week, what's the point in having him? So yeah, no, I don't think I do that. Bench Kevin De Bruyne for God's sake. Daffs, you fuck off for a second, all right? You're not infecting this chat, okay? I'm only kidding, Daffs. You know we love you. Wood. Then again, fixtures aren't the best. Yeah, no, Wood was a great shout 3 weeks ago, but now the Wood is hollow, and these, yeah. I'm out. You know, I want some Baileys. That's what I want. Firmino scored. I thought about you when he did. Yeah, a lot of people messaged me. I kind of felt like FPL General when someone gets taken off in the 59th minute. I was in the pub with him like fucking 4 weeks ago or something. We were watching Chelsea. And I think it was the last time Mount scored, actually. And you benched Traore at times already. No, he's perfect for your first bench, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, right now, you've got Traore as first on your bench, and he's a perfect first bench option. I love that. Shall I just give you my FPL ID? Yeah, Ducky, go for it, man. I was at the pub, and who was it that got taken off? Mahrez or something. Mahrez got taken off in the 59th minute that week. And his Twitter just went from like 1 notification to like 50, like immediately. And he was just like, look at this, and just scrolling his team, like look at this. It just like Mahrez, 59, Mahrez. I mean, I got 5 people saying Firmino just scored. And I felt like a fucking boss. Right, I've got your team, buddy. Let's do it. Right, Ducky. Yeah, perfect. See, this is a perfect bench. So Traore first bench, obviously. And then it's kind of the similar thing to my team. I mean, I like the fact that you take Tomori out, but then who are you playing? So Mount to... Yeah, no, I don't... I don't mind you taking Tomori and going down, because Tomori has... he's going to be on your bench anyway, because you're not going to bench him. You're not going to put him on the starting 11 over Lundstram or Soy, right? So in that case, I don't mind you downgrading him for a cheaper player, despite his fixtures, right? I know that would mean that you have a third spot open, and you could totally do that. But if you want that, I would prefer you get rid of Madison, even though he's got great fixtures, and I would never say that before, than Traore. Because simply you're going to have to bench Mount, and that's not an option. Benching any of these starting 11 players that you've got on the screen right now, to me, is not an option. It's just not worth it, because like Mount might get 1 point, or if you fucking bench De Bruyne, if you listen to Daffs and you bench De Bruyne, he's going to score. He's going to do something. And people are going to be like, why the fuck did you bench him? And even in yourself, you know you don't want to bench him. If I brought Pulisic for Traore, I could bench Jimmy or Tammy against the hardest defense. That's true. You could bench one of these. To be honest, like, would you want to, though? Who's got the worst fixtures? I guess Jimenez? At least for the next 5. Just seen that Ings has good fixtures too. If Mousset isn't fit, I'll go with him this week instead. Oblivious, I think that's just the best choice ever. I love Ings. Who was it I was looking at? I think it was the official FPL show. I don't know what it was called, but they were like, I think it was Sam on it or FPL Family were both on it, and they were saying like, who do you want to pick? Who's your differential for the next 4 game weeks? And someone said Ings. And I was like, Ings, I haven't heard his name come up in a while. And I looked at his fixtures, and he had really good fixtures, and he scored in all of them. He's like, I think he's a good pick, and he's been fit. It's a good rotation. Ings has terrible injury record. He will break down soon enough. Yeah, that's the only thing. Getting Ings in for the Christmas period will really test those little legs of his. I'll wait till the pressers on my second transfer. That's fine. But yeah, no, Rubber Ducky's absolutely 100% spot on. Like, Ings and fixtures congestion don't really go well together, but he might have turned a corner. I mean, he's played 4 90-minute games or something, so it could be good. It could be good. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. In this case, if you really want Pulisic, I would just take Mount out, and if you need the money, drop Tomori to something. And that's it, really. That's it. I don't think I would want to play 5 because then you have to play 2. And if you're going to play 2 and you're going to be benching one of these guys, why don't you just downgrade them for the money for thingy? So you could downgrade Abraham for Pulisic and upgrade Traore. Or downgrade Jimenez and upgrade Traore. I'm just not... You don't need the money to go from Mount to Pulisic. Well, I mean, that's your answer, isn't it? I absolutely don't mind if you want to play hocus pocus, like ring around the fucking bench. Totally cool with me, but I just hate it. For me personally, I did it last year for a bit. I've done it way too much this year, and it's just a fucking headache, and it sucks so much ass. The worst part is not picking the bad captain, because you only have one stab at it, right? The worst part is picking your fucking bench. It's just the most annoying part of this whole game. Is the whole game. Rule of thumb: Aguero out means Mahrez hype. Yeah, potentially, right? Let's go into that. So that's another one. Have we talked about Spurs enough? Did we talk about Spurs enough at the start of the stream? I'm going to tick off Chelsea. We've talked about them a lot. Spurs, I like Kane the most. One of my screenshots before I blacked out on Friday was Grealish and Kane for David Silva and Firmino. Who both came in, but the thing was I wasn't 100% sure, and I fucking woke up late anyway, but Kane scored 2 goals tonight. He is Mourinho's ideal striker. He's a target man. He is good enough to get the ball in the back of the net. Mourinho loves playing with those strikers because they just sit there and they just score goals, and that's what he's going to use Kane to do. So I feel like we're going to see Kane go back to his old perfect self like very, very soon. So yeah, I don't think there's a better option. I think Kane's gonna be amazing. I know that Son is cheaper, and he did really well on the weekend, and he's probably going to continue doing well. He's not a bad option at all. Son would be my second choice. Right now with my current team, I think Son would be a bit easier for me, but it just depends on your own team. But yeah, no, Son's fucking banging. So I think you can't go wrong with him either. Ali's a bit concerning for me. So I know that he might be playing like the all out, like I'm gonna be late in the box, and it might work for a little bit, but I actually think he's gonna have a lot of defensive duties, and he's also going to have that coming back for the transition. So you've seen him on against West Ham. Ali was actually running back to get the ball, just like Maddison does. But the difference is that Maddison will then they kind of play far, like he'll just pass it up the channel to Vardy, who's there in the box, to tap it in. Now, Ali did that a little bit. He kind of put Son through and Son scored. It was kind of a bad defensive effort. The goalkeeper should have saved it. And I don't think Ali's going to get many of those chances if Mourinho decides to focus on defense. I think Ali's going to be his everyman this season. So I'm not 100% sure on Ali yet. I just have a bad feeling about it. But I've had fucking feelings in the past. And those feelings have been fucking Zuma for the first 3 game weeks or 4 game weeks of the season. So I don't know. I can't really. I have a hard time believing in myself at the present moment, lads. But I'm sure that Ali is the 3rd best choice for Spurs. So there you go. That's my 2 cents. Zero, if I have time, I will look at your team, buddy. I'll get it set up just now. I've copied your shit, so we'll see. Oh, wow, we've got Gilbert in there. Right. What was I going to say about next? Okay, before we look at this team, I'm going to read. Have you considered Salah over Mane? Maybe you answered it when I disconnected. No, I didn't answer that. So Salah and Mane, like everyone's been saying since the dawn of time, like, 2019 has been Mane's season, or Mane's year, sorry, and Mane has just been playing better than Salah. I test stats. I know that at the tail end of last year, Salah's stats were still better, and that was what everyone was kind of talking about. It was like, oh, they're still close, but now it's not close anymore. Mane's just better, and Salah has a glass ankle that we need to worry about. I mean, he's still getting drained of fluid. So much fluid happening with Salah, and the congestion of fixtures is like literally now. We are now in the congestion period. Game week 14 weekend, game week 15 weekday, game week 16 weekend. Like, it's gonna be fucking tough for anyone that has an injury and niggle. Robertson and Salah are, for me, a little bit of no-goes right now because I don't know. Maybe more Robertson's fine than Salah, but if he was fine, I would probably have very, very hard decision on my hands whether to go Mane or Salah. But since he was injured, since the congestion of fixtures, it's a bit difficult. It's a bit difficult for me. I suppose during the festive period, having a benching headache is a great advantage as the auto sub will kick in. You're totally right. I mean, you're convincing yourself, and I totally believe that you believe. So just go for it, Rubber. Do you get called Rubber or Ducky or Rubber Ducky? I kind of want to call you Rubber because I know everyone's going to be calling you Ducky. Captaincy this week is going to be interesting. Yeah, it's going to be another. Should we go Vardy again? Mane's still a good option, but now Chelsea have good fixture, so they're in contention. The only ones who don't have Mr. Rubber. All right, sorry, buddy. The only ones who don't have like great fixtures are kind of like the fringe players. Like, I think even Tottenham have good fixtures and City. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Drop my fucking pencil. F in the chat for Zero. Can't get both Mane and Jimenez. First time FPL and didn't know about team value. You didn't know about team value? What the where is your team? To be fair, when I started, I didn't know about team value ever. At all, to be fair. In the bank, 1.4. Oh, you're doing fine. See, for your first season, that's nae bad, lad. That's not bad. All right, this is your team, Zero. Vardy party on again this week. Yeah, I think so. I think I might just keep it there, just to keep it simple. This team is fine. Martial, Maddison, De Bruyne, Aguero's injured. You have the you've got the very unique chance because you have to do a striker. And you don't have to get Jimenez because he's now well into his good fixtures. You could go Jesus again. Finally seen another Gilbert owner. Yeah, he's been doing amazing, right? 8, 6, 5, 4. It's pretty much every home game, isn't it? Every home game he gets something. In the last 4 home games, 5 home games, 6 home games. Every home game he's played, he has got a clean sheet. Or an attacking return. That is fucking mental. Wow. I never noticed that till now. Or Kane. Yeah, you could get Kane. That's a good point. either of those is a good idea. Him and Aguero to Kane or Jesus, depending on what you want to do. I would maybe not captain either of them, but certainly an idea. Hudson-Odoi needs to come out because you're playing. To be fair though, Gilbert, if he's away, don't play him, and if he is, oh wow, he's got bad fixtures. Okay, he'll be first on your bench. So maybe upgrade Hudson-Odoi to someone that you like, because you're going to get some money from Aguero. So Aguero down, and then see who you want for Hudson-Odoi, who is 5.7 now. You've probably lost a little bit of money depending on when you brought him in, but you'll have probably enough for Pulisic or something. You could bring him in and sit him there. So yeah, I think you're going to be doing great. I'm 18th in the Stream League. Oblivious, well done. I think you're just ahead of me, right? You would be just ahead of me in that case. Where am I? There you go. Baines on toast versus the Simon Pegs. 3 points. Only 3 points in it. How disgusting is that? Is that, like, there's players in here. Raw, for example, has had 50 more points than us in the same game week. Oh. You feel like you're doing good, and then you just see others, and you just want to hurt. Want to hurt someone. Want to hurt yourself. Oh my god. But yeah, no, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. So I'm gonna close that. The last thing I want to talk about is before I look at Magnus Carlsen's thing, because I really want to do that. The last thing I want to talk about is the actual Jesus situation. So a lot of players have already gotten rid of Sterling. Absolutely fine. I maybe should have done it. We all should maybe have done it a while ago. If we didn't have Mane, we should have maybe done it. Absolutely fine. Rectified for myself this week, but I can understand it. The people who have kept Sterling are sitting there thinking, one more week, one more week, one more week. And now something comes along that might change something, and they're like, oh, is that good for Sterling? Oh, Aguero's out. Jesus is in. Is that good for Sterling? Oh, look, every time Sterling's done something good, Jesus has been on the park. That hat-trick was Jesus. You know, that goal was Jesus, whatever, right? And they keep doing that. And then people on Twitter, they'll say this and they'll get retweeted and people like it. And then all of a sudden, you know, that's hype and people are talking. And if you're talking about it, we're thinking about it, we're talking about it now. Is it a good idea? Is Sterling an actual good option because Jesus is on the park? The problem with that, and I have a huge problem with it, is that all that raw data is just absolutely misleading. Because for Jesus to actually impact Sterling's output, he needs to be doing something that Aguero doesn't do in those situations in which Sterling scored. So if Jesus held the ball up really, really well and then Sterling scored, because of that, fine. If Aguero has been seen to do the exact same thing and hold it up just as well and Sterling didn't score, then that's Sterling. It's nothing to do with the holding striker, right? So I'm not saying that it will or won't. Historical data from last year concludes that Aguero and Sterling are much better together. But I can't say for sure if it's going to have an effect. I'll need to go back and actually look at all this stuff, and I'm going to do that this weekend. I'm just going to go back and I'm going to find out exactly what it means and what the differences were in every single game that Jesus played and Aguero didn't, and find out why Sterling got those points. And I'll have that for you next week. I'm going to do that. My issue right now has nothing to do with Zaha's perfect, buddy. We've talked about him a little bit now. He's got great fixtures, and this is probably his best fixture run in the whole entire season. So if you're ever going to take a punt on Zaha, it's now. But it's a great question. A few people have asked about Zaha. Yeah, so my problem with Sterling, and it's the reason why I brought him out of my team, is just because simply his best time when he's getting goals is when he's those little tiny tap-ins at the end of the of a cross to the far post. That's his best chance of getting a goal. Someone over the top or a through, and he's there at the end, and he's an inside forward at that point, and he's tapping them in. That's his best XG It was his best last year. It was his best at the start of the season. It's just what he does best. Coming on inside, scoring those goals. For whatever reason, his heat map, his touches inside the box, and even eye test, we can all see it. He is not in the box anymore. He is staying wide. It might be a confidence thing. It might be because Mendy's there. And we all thought that Mendy was going to have a good effect on him, and Mendy's going to stay wide because he's not. But it's not happened. So maybe it's nothing to do with Mendy. Mendy might not have anything, a link, nothing, no strategy. It might not even be part of their thinking. And it's just FPL talking, the FPL in us that are all want to hope that Sterling's going to be going inside because Mendy's not. But we don't actually know, right? All we know is that Sterling is not in the box anymore. He's sitting outside of it for whatever reason, and we are no longer seeing those tap-ins. Maybe it's because the whole team has kind of regressed. Kevin De Bruyne is not maybe playing as well as he was. Aguero's not playing well. They're all kind of in a funk. But yeah, no, Sterling's not in the box, and that's where you want him. And he's not just going to magically go back there in the next game week, the next 2 game weeks, right? It's a fundamental issue with the tactics that they're trying to implement. So for that reason, Sterling is not a good option just now, especially at his price. The fact that Jesus is going to be there instead of Aguero has little bearing on the positioning of Sterling unless Sterling plays striker, which I doubt will happen. So Jesus isn't going to change where Sterling is running about to, and therefore I don't think he's going to have a big impact. However, caveat all that shit with he might play better with Jesus in the last 4 games that it happened this season, but I'm going to have to go and look. We're going to have to do that, right? The bald little fraud will probably bench him anyway. Yeah, wouldn't that be great? Because then we don't have to fucking worry about it, and we can totally take him out and justify. Or next game we could get a yellow card, and then we can absolutely take him out, and we'll have a big fucking fuck you Sterling party. But what I'm trying to say is that we can't just go on the raw data. We need to find out exactly why Jesus was doing good with Sterling or why Sterling was doing bad with Aguero. But it has to be Aguero's fault for Jesus to be a better option for Sterling owners, right? Does that make sense? Aguero missed game week 7, 9, and 10. Jesus played those weeks and got 2 goals, 2 assists. In the same time, Sterling got 2 goals, 1 assist. I think Jesus is a good option. Don't get me wrong. Every single time one of those 2 gets injured, if Jesus gets injured, I always say I want to bring in Aguero. If Aguero gets injured, I always want to bring in Jesus because they only have those 2 strikers, which means you've got a guaranteed start, and they always do well because they always know that the other person's injured, and it falls on them. I feel like it's just in every single time it happens, I want to do it and I don't, and I regret it. So Jesus right now is a great option. But for Sterling's output to be meaningful when Jesus is on the pitch, Jesus has to directly implement or directly contribute to Sterling's goal. Is Jesus taking a defender away from Sterling to be able to run in, and Aguero doesn't do that? Is Aguero being marked just the same as Jesus? Is Jesus hitting those passes when Aguero wasn't? Which is probably not true because Jesus doesn't fucking pass. But you get what I'm saying. Like, he has to have an impact, and he just hasn't been doing so. I want to go back though, like I'm saying, and I'm caveating this whole rant. I'm just not sure, and I'm gonna go back and look at all the games and figure it out. So that's my homework, and I'll let you guys know. Does the left back choice change anything? Yeah, well, we thought it would. We thought it did. We thought Mendy was going to change stuff, but it just hasn't. But also, Pep's not 100% sure in where he wants to go with his fullbacks, so therefore they keep changing. And if anybody's played Football Manager, you know that if you keep the same players playing for a good amount of time, they'll start to link up. There just doesn't seem like Mendy's been playing enough with Sterling, and there isn't that much link up, and I haven't really seen anything to indicate that the left back spot actually makes a difference. There was a little bit of change when Mendy first started, but it's kind of regressed heavily with the decrease in form. So we're not 100% sure. Zero says not sure if Martial is worth the spot. Oh, for your team. I think Martial is a good option. Martial has okay fixtures. Where are we? Does he have okay fixtures? Let's find out. Where are you? Over the long run. 10 fixtures. Aston Villa, Tottenham, they're fine. For an attacking point of view, they're fine. Maybe Aston Villa's a little bit difficult. I'll show you. And then Man City is a derby. Don't know what's going to happen. Everton are a shambles right now. That's fine. Watford, okay. Newcastle, okay. Burnley away is a bit difficult. Arsenal away is fine. Norwich home's fine. Liverpool's difficult. So yeah, over those three, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 games in 10 that I would be worried about. And he's out of position. And Rashford's in form, which means he's going to be in form. Yeah, I don't think Martial's a bad choice. There are better options. I would prefer a double up in Chelsea. We can see Chelsea's way up here with those fixtures. But if you've already got him, he's not fire. You don't need to take him out. All right. Good enough rant. My rant was basically me just saying, I don't know. And I think we should all be unbiased when looking at this decision. And we need to take everything we see on Twitter with a grain of salt. That's what I wanted to say. I should have just said that. Would have saved us all a lot of time. We could have went to fucking bed earlier. Right, quickly, I want to look at... Magnus Carlsen's team. Because I really, really, really think that it's worth it. And it was such a good idea. Right. This is Magnus Carlsen's wild card. Now, he did get 69 points, and maybe he was going for that, and he's the genius that he is. He just wanted to make us all giggle, which is absolutely fine. But let's have a look and see if he needed to wild card. So 74 points last week. A fucking amazing score. I can probably safely say that he probably hated that. He probably hated that his keeper didn't play. And so he wanted to rectify that. That's fine. Son's in there and Aurier's in there. Now, Aurier coming up into these fixtures, noticing that he hasn't really done anything for his team. You know, they've conceded goals most of the time that Magnus has owned him. He's probably not like that too much. And I can see that also being something in his head, right? Tomori, Robertson, he benched Robertson the week before. That's crazy. He benched Robertson against Man City. And kept Alexander-Arnold on. But yeah, he might have been considering, okay, so Alexander-Arnold and Robertson, having both of them might be a bit of a fire. Aurier's a bit of a fire. Lundstrom and Tomori probably loves. Martial, he probably okay. Allaire has been a thorn in his side for a long time, so that's 3. We could say maybe 4 fires. So none of us would probably do a wild card. Like, this team is fine. Maybe 2 transfers. Allaire out. Aurier out. Heaton out. For a hit. It'll be fine. He's got the double up. But he decides to wild card. And he brings in Gazaniga. He brings in Soy. He takes out... who was it that he took out in midfield? Madison. He took out Madison in midfield. And brought in Mousse. That's a lot of changes. Oh, and he brought in Mane and captained him. Did he have Mane last game? No, he didn't have Mane. So he brought in Mane. Which is a huge thing. So it's just it's a lot in. So he did Mane. He brought Salah in as well. Holy shit, I didn't even notice that. Oh, fuck. So he took out Robertson. He took out his keeper. He took out... Is there a way I can do this? I'm sure I could just fucking go and click it. Where's his transfer history? Bam. Oh, we brought in Rashford for a little bit. Look at that. We can see his whole thing. This is kind of cool. No Kevin De Bruyne. No, I know. He's done that as well. Good score with Salah, no show. No, that's absolutely true. So let's see what he did. He started tinkering. He started tinkering on the... Oh, wow. He's done a lot. Okay. Okay, so he started tinkering here and brought Gazaniga in. He brought Ramsdale in instead of McGovern for his second keeper. He brought in Jimenez. Then he took Gazaniga out and thought maybe I could work with Schmeichel. He brought in Ake for Aurier. Pulisic for Son. Wow, he probably lost money on that too. Then took Schmeichel out and put Button on. Ake went out for Soy, so he changed his Leicester defender. Then Donker out for Traore. Jimenez out for Rashford. And then Ramsdale out for Gazzaniga. So now he's got Gazzaniga and he's got Button. Robertson was brought out for Reed. Maddison was then brought out for Son instead, so we got rid of Maddison there. De Bruyne for Salah. Traore for Dendonker was probably to pay for that. Yeah, all these were done at the same time. All these were done at 11:30 at night. So he was like, right, I want Gazzaniga in goals. I don't want Robertson. I want Salah and I want Mane. And I can afford Son, so I'd rather have him for the bounce. I don't want De Bruyne anymore. I've went for Mane over Pulisic, and I've paid for it with Mousset in instead of Rashford. But he said to himself 2 days before, I really like Rashford. And then he decided against it because he wanted to double up. That's so interesting. This guy's a fucking... Oh, this is so cool. Shiny, welcome. Thank you so much for doing this. This is awesome. Thank you for getting me to do this. So let's look at his history. So without Salah, he still did better than me. He got Son on the bounce, which was perfect. He had to play Dendonker, who came off the bench, which is fine. Salah's going to be playing next game week. He's got Mane, Salah, Son, Martial. And he's playing with Martial instead of Martial and Rashford. And I think that's okay. I think if he didn't have Martial, he might not have kept him. We'll see. He does have a lot of... He does have a lot of fixtures. It's interesting. I don't think he had to, but I think he wanted to do too many big changes. I think he really wanted to attack the fixtures. What were his auto subs? Dendonker in for Salah is the only one I can see. The only one I can see. What's his money like? 103 million with 4 in the bank. 0.4 in the bank. So yeah, next week's going to be amazing for him. So what he's done basically there is he said, look, I would prefer to have less Leicester attack and more Leicester defense. I would also prefer to have a nailed defender on Tottenham. And Gazzaniga was 4.4 potentially when he bought him, so that's good. I don't want the double up in Liverpool defense anymore because I want to attack those fixtures and I want both Salah and Mane, which is huge. And instead of City, he's went no City altogether. Daffs, if you're still here, no City altogether, and he's went Son instead with that bounce. Kept Martial, kept Vardy, kept Abraham. He's actually... Did he have Mount in beforehand? I don't think he did. No, he didn't. So he's on his wild card decided not to bring in... I know he wanted to bring in Pulisic, so that's interesting. So for Pulisic owners, for Rashford owners, for no Kevin De Bruyne owners, you are in genius company. He just thought that Salah was worth sacrificing for. Interesting. I'm going to fucking save this guy's team so I can keep looking at it because this shit's awesome. Magnus Carlsen. I'm saving it right now. All right. And that is the stream. Think he's playing for the win. I think he's playing for the win as well. I think he's going differential and he wants to see how good he can get. Because, I mean, he's already up there. He's up at the tippy top of the league overall rank. So he can do what he wants. And if he falls away, then so what? He'll make it up. So that's the stream. Thank you very much for coming. Next week, for me, I've got Fantasy Weekly coming out tomorrow. I've got another stream at some point this week, Thursday, probably. It's not going to be an FPL chill, I don't think. I might not have a guest. I might have a guest. I might not. We'll see. But if not, I think I might just do a Rate My Team episode. Might be fun. And then the weekend, yeah, we'll see what happens on the weekend. There's a lot of shit happening behind the scenes. I'm talking to people, I'm chatting things. I want to do more FPL. I also want to start writing again. So a lot of good stuff coming in. But thank you very much for coming. Stream was fun as it always is. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much for coming. First stream, top stuff, Dave. Thanks, Jack. I appreciate it. And Jack, get your fucking article out so I can read it, because that's just going to be amazing. I will retweet it oh so hard. Yeah, so thanks, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Wait for the drop.